Greetings, Augmented World Expo Asia 2021. My name is Tish Shute, Licklider, and I'm Director of ARVR for Futurewei Technologies and co-founder with Ori Imbar for Augmented World Expo and augmentedreality.org. I should note, Ori has been doing the heavy lifting for a number of years now, as I've been busy on other projects. But I'm particularly excited to talk on this topic today, a web of perception and shared context, because I think this is a grand challenge for us all. But please note, the opinions in this talk are mine and do not represent any organization or company. So the working title for this talk was Rethinking ARVR, a new web for spatial computing. But what do we mean, a new web for spatial computing? I think fundamentally it's a web for devices that see. And it is a web of perception and shared context that can integrate human and machine perception to enable humans and machines to share context safely and wisely when reality is the platform for computing. And right now, the platform for computing on the web is information. But when the real world becomes the platform, that not only opens us to many big challenges, but many exciting opportunities too. So today we're surrounded by devices that see. Devices that see are everywhere. Our phones can see, farm machinery can see, even some of our cars can see, and soon we ourselves will have augmented vision. So why can't we just fit AR, VR, and spatial computing into the old web of information? Well, I think there's many things useful for spatial computing that can be done in legacy browsers, and the many examples of this. I think the web of perception and shared context needs actionable perception in real time, performance and persistence not available in legacy browsers, and perhaps most importantly, a capabilities architecture for shared 3D spaces and a new grammar for spatial computing beyond HTML and CSS. I think I'm suggesting that we should reinvent the game engine as an OS for the web of perception. So today, devices that see have come of age, and bringing actionable perception to the open web is the grand challenge. This is an excellent project from MIT Spark Lab that shows actionable spatial perception with places, objects, and humans using 3D dynamics scene graphs. And I think this web of perception and shared context will open us to a really, possibility space that we really can't even imagine quite yet, especially in this area of new creative economies. You see a glimpse of this perhaps with NFTs, and that you can already build a virtual universe with NFTs. But we're just at the beginning of this journey. And at the heart of the web of perception and shared context is the future of human-machine collaboration, our future. We need mutual understanding shared by both humans and machines. We need a shared understandable language between humans and machines. We need actually trust by humans and machines that trust their humans operators, and machine decision-making with humans in the loop. Even machines that can be taught how to perform a team mission or that know what humans are supposed to do. So the heart of the web of perception is the future of human and machine collaboration. And an open web of perception can bring AI and computer vision into the public sphere. And I think this is something that is really vital. AI is a full stack process, and actually very few companies can do it now. And AI, most importantly, is always linked to user experience and what data can do. And the tradition of the open web to empower users can be very important for the future of AI. And for a web of perception and shared context, we do need an open web stack for AI and a capability, and again, this capabilities-based architecture. But what do I mean, a capabilities architecture for a web of perception and shared context? Well, this is a giant topic, but I mean, these are some of the questions that we have to answer for a new web of spatial computing. How can users be in control? Who gets to display what in what context? And who gets to interact with objects? What are the manipulated objects in a shared space? And what are the interactions in the future of spatial computing that we have to accommodate in our thinking about this web? So there are many projects, I think, that are emerging that are pointing at this new web for spatial computing, web of perception and shared context. But I think this project is one that, I mean, I really think is an important one, the orbital web. And the orbital web, led by Anselm Hook, is a creative programming platform for computer vision applications on the web. So, that's the beginning of a web of perception and shared context. And I think this quote from Anselm really encapsulates some of the architectural challenges. Anselm writes, a future-oriented browser needs to support preemptive, multi-threaded, durable app execution. That is definitely a challenge, with inter-app messaging and fine-grained user controls over what is running. If it's running in the background, and the throttling and permissions and sandboxing huge. And not just lightweight throwaway PWAs like we have now, but something more like a real operating system. And this includes shared library support and execution of high-performance code at near metal speeds. So I think you can get a glimpse of this, that this is a grand challenge. But I hope this is something that we can pursue it in these conferences and continue this conversation. And I very much hope that we will meet in person soon and be able to talk about this more. And thank you for this opportunity to present.